we covered what was under his report.
Okay,
I'm good.
all right, good. Sewage,
Yes, be aware that Mark passed his test, so we're gonna promote him to plant manager. With the wage, we don't know yet. He hasn't talked to his union, well, he hasn't got back to me about the union. It ain't gonna be till next month anyhow, I don't think he's getting his final paperwork till the end of June. So, did you talk to him? I asked you to,
Yeah,
is he gonna be able to run the plant like we think?
I
Does he
talked
have all the
with,
criteria?
as far as I know, yes, he does.
Okay.
I guess the question becomes, CWM, I think the contract is up in July. They were on a year contract and then there's a certain.
July?
Yes.
Next July.
No,
No, December.
no. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive it's in July.
Okay.
I guess the question for council is, in speaking with Mark, it sounds like, yeah, he might not have all his paperwork in order yet.
No, he doesn't, not
So-
till the end of June.
Until that happens, my thinking and my suggestion to council would be approach CWM and say, hey, you know, can we move this just week to week for the interim until Mark gets his, Mark gets his things squared away.
Yes.
And then the other item there is I will get a proposal because you will still need them for lab testing.
Correct.
So what we'll do is we'll coordinate with Mark and we'll coordinate with CWM and we'll get a proposal for cost moving forward for just laboratory services.
Correct.
And then advise on what their response is on moving that contract to a week-to-week basis, presuming that their contract expires before Mark gets his paperwork in place.
Okay. Oh, you mean, there, not Mark's contract, you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
CWM contract.
I thought you were talking about the labor.
So I thought you were talking about
Oh,
Mark.
I don't know anything about that, I see it.
Oh, Yeah, right.
So we'll do that and we'll do that.
That's fine, yeah. So, that's where I'm at with that. All right, hiring of a Mark's replacement. Basically a day-to-day maintenance guy, but Ryan, how I want it to work is, this is how I want it to work. I'm nobody, but would like that guy to go to school also, start him in the process of taking over Mark on Mark's leave. Okay, so we're not just gonna hire a maintenance guy, we wanna hire a guy that's willing to go to school, get the classes to.
Yeah, I would think you include that as part of your
Correct.
description when you advertise the job.
Correct,
And Sam, I don't know
that's
if
where
there
I'm
are
at.
procedures that can be put in place to make his employment contingent upon making progress towards that.
My,
We certainly could, but we'll have to look at the union contract to see if they're gonna fall into that too, because that's the other stipulation on it, but we could probably get some things there.
well, we need to start another guy.
Mhm.
Mark's, he's like me, he's 59, he's gonna be retiring, right?
Now, the other side.
We don't wanna go through what we went through now, we wanna start somebody in the next
So
process.
I'm gonna put a bug in your head now, you guys are gonna have to look at the wages, because if you want somebody that are gonna be able to do that, they're gonna be a little bit more expensive than just some maintenance guy.
Well, we're gonna send him to school.
Right.
We're not looking for somebody that has the knowledge now. So we could pay him, that's what I'm looking at. You know, it's like, hey, we're gonna give you X amount of dollars, right now, you're gonna be a maintenance man. You're gonna clean pumps, you're gonna cut grass, you're gonna go, whatever Mark tells you to do, you're
Yeah,
gonna go do.
you're gonna be the.
But in an intern, while you're there, you're going to go to school. And I want something in there, like, if we're gonna pay for his schooling, that he has, after the schooling done and he's passed, he's gonna give us some type of commitment, 5 years after the school, you know what I mean? You can't have us pay for your schooling and then leave.
Right.
Is that something we can do, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Usually, yes, you can.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at it, but yes,
Correct.
that's typically something that's there.
I just
Usually
don't
sometime-
wanna hire a maintenance man, I wanna hire the next Mark.
A lot of the times you
Yeah.
can put in reimbursement stuff, so, and I see this in teachers' contracts, because they do a lot of continuing
Okay.
education. If they take so many credits and they don't stay for this long, they have to pay this portion
Correct.
of it back. So
That's what I'm looking
We can
at.
probably work something out, we may need to get the union involved, but that shouldn't be much of an issue,
No.
especially this kind of a position.
Yeah, I want somebody that has to stay for a while, I don't wanna pay his wages and then.
Well, of course not. You know, we don't wanna qualify a guy for the next
Correct.
best thing and we lose out on it.
Correct.
Okay.
So, I don't know how we go about that, Brian and Sam, maybe between the two of you.
I mean, I'd be happy to help you guys put some language together in terms of putting an ad in the paper.
Yeah, the rest of that stuff's gonna fall on me, and you and I can talk a little
Okay,
bit more about
that's-
what
that's
we're gonna
fine.
put in there.
So,
So I'll work on the technical end of it and then talk
Okay.
to Sam to gin up from there.
yeah, to basically hiring a guy to move forward and across.
And that's like Ryan's saying, you definitely wanna mention that in your description, because that might entice somebody to say,
Correct.
hey, I've got a future here, let's
Correct.
give this a shot.
Don't need
So
motion.
we're not just hiring somebody to cut grass.
Yeah, I mean, if you, when are you looking to replace them? I think we should probably get all of that together first, our description and everything.
ASAP.
I'd say probably motion to advertise for it, but we've gotta put,
Well, we gotta put something together first.
yeah, just put motion to advertise, that way if we get it done, we can get it.
Okay, yeah, I'll make that motion.
Motion by
Advertise for,
Tony,
Mark's replacement, bus to school.
second by Dan. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Mark got Barbera coming down tomorrow. I don't know if you know about this, something with the gate.
Yeah, there's a sluice gate at the head of the pump station that basically modulates up and down based on flow. He's having some issues with it, so he told me today that Barbera was coming in the morning to take a look at it, if they need anything else, he's gonna give me a call.
Correct. Okay, Harris replacement. Recreation, that lookout deck down there. So I had my buddy go down Saturday and look at it, and his opinion is, same as everybody else's opinion, except for Doc Oak, is that the spacing is too far. Dalton was down there. Like, when they put the posts in, and they ran the board, like, one's on 4 foot, one's on 3 foot, so they should have been on 2 foot. So that's why it's starting to give, or something's broke under there, we don't know, so I don't know how to move forward, you know, with, do we do it?
There was four boards replaced on there last week, I guess. And Lou opened it back up. And I told Lou to go back down and put it. Okay.
It's in bad shape.
Doc Hope would replace 4 boards, but that don't make it safe.
Mm-mm.
So I told Lou to go back down and close it up. Because the council,
Right.
yeah.
Is this something that Mike's actually look at, that's code enforcement?
We can, I had Dalton and the other guy get on and look at it. Dalton, what do you think? I mean, you were there. I mean, you could stand on it and go up and down on
I mean, as of when Dawn and I
it. I mean,
reviewed
something's
that,
broke under there, I mean, it's obvious.
as of when Dawn and I reviewed that last month, Ryan, I honestly can't remember how much of this I had actually briefed you on, following that review, but, there's definitely signs that, the main, like, basically cross supports were rotting, and like Tony said, you could bounce on parts of that.
This is a borough owned?
Yeah.
asset?
Well, yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
mean,
suggest
the
if
Rotary
there's
put
any
it up,
question-
but-
If there's any question about whether it's safe or not, keep it closed.
Yeah.
Would be my
But we closed it back up.
recommendation.
I had 2 carpenters, 2 engineers sit down and look at it. They're both, everybody's, it's not safe.
Yeah, we definitely can't allow people on
Yes.
that. Right.
But this one gentleman seems to think it's safe, because they
Well-
built it.
If it's the borough's own, I would think so, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the borough's call.
Yeah.
Whatever,
We're
regardless
closing
of
it,
the-
I'm sorry, it's not opening.
Yeah, it's closed, it's closed.
So, the next move, how's the next move go? Do we,
You guys wanna fix it, if you wanna spend the money to do it, it's probably gonna be something that you need to bid
I
out.
heard, well, when I took my buddy down there, he said anywhere 10 grand.
You get bids, you get quotes for it.
Tony, is there anything more, more sustainable that you can build that with if you do replace it?
I'm not a carpenter, honey, I don't.
No, but I mean, other than, I don't know, like underneath, like something.
That's what it seems like, I think the deck boards need brought up and then the underneath repaired and the deck boards put back down, but.
Kind of when Dawn and I were taking a look at it, really looks like that, the issue stems from the fact that the supports and the cross framework underneath the deck itself was never treated in any capacity. They just put plain board under there, so it was gonna be a time bomb in terms of rotting. So, in terms of something more sustainable, I mean, you could essentially replace the rotted wood, you could essentially replace the rotted structures and foundation with
So we,
treated structures, but I am not.
Those were treated in those boroughs.
Yeah.
They were.
I don't know that.
It was treated in the.
Okay. I'm sure it was, but it's either rotted, screws busted off, I don't know what happened, something happened.
It's been there a long time.
So, it's over 20 years,
It
so,
was never put in correctly.
well, that's every people I take down there that tells me that. I mean, I don't wanna be the guy that says that, but.
I stood on it, and
So, when me and Dalton was down there, I wanted to lift 3 boards on this side, 3 boards on this side of, of the center, and see if that thing is busted off. Maybe we can just lift a couple boards off there and get to the actual structure things and refasten them with bolts or something, and then maybe that's all that needs to happen. I'm not a carpenter, I don't know that.
Yeah, I'd suggest that you keep it closed, and then evaluate what your threshold is for, cost for repair. You know, if you get.
So do we send this off for bids? How do we do it?
It's hard to know without knowing what you're getting into.
Right.
I mean,
bottom line, that's open to the public. Even though it's not very high off the ground, it still has to be load rated.
Has to be what?
Load rated.
Well, yeah, it's not safe.
The architect's gonna have to get involved because it was never done when they put it.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it.
That's the bottom line. We looked into doing stuff like that other places, and it's,
Yeah.
stay away from it
I
unless
don't
you're
even know
putting
how it got put
concrete.
in, to be honest.
yeah, you're gonna want, if it's a structure that's supporting public, it's gonna have.
What it was meant for was wheelchair people.
Yeah, meant for handicap.
So a wheelchair person can go out there and fish. That's exactly what it was intended.
Yeah, I would suggest that, you know, maybe if you wanna get some prices from somebody just as a ballpark.
That's what I mean. Do we go out and just get, hey, we need some kind of estimate, so we can
Yeah,
get
I
the
mean-
estimate and figure out what we wanna do.
You can get a price, whoever you talk to, I would, you know, suggest that they go through the process of getting a permit, you know, just like you would for.
Just for an estimate?
Well, no, include that in their price and their cost estimate.
Oh, okay,
That they
yeah,
have to get a
yeah.
permit, have to be built, borough applicable codes. Yeah, Mike Stack's involved in reviewing all that.
See, because, the guy that I had down there Saturday, he's an ex-union, businessman. So he thinks he can get me the help, so there's another sticking point, he thinks he can get me the manpower. It's like a volunteer, like these apprentices and all that, they get this, they need this time to get these.
Community
stuff.
project.
Yeah, something, like that, but we'd have to pay for the wood. Or the material, you gotta pay for screws, whatever you need,
Take the deal.
to get the job done.
It's a good
But that's the
deal.
same thing he said, Tony, one's on 4-foot center, one's on 3-foot center, you need to put new posts in there to carry the weight.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe-
does that whole deck need to come up and new posts put in and?
I mean, if you're going to do it, you certainly wanna have the entire thing inspected.
Yes.
Cause if you gotta replace some, check it all out.
Well, I don't know how it got away with the first time.
That seems to happen a lot.
I got away with it the first time because it was basically just like a little sort of.
It's a little project, was all it was.
Yeah.
Well, it was essentially a gift, and that was 20
Correct.
years ago.
Yeah.
You could get away with a lot more
Right,
Right.
back then.
Yeah, so, I guess,
what's my next move? Bids?
I would try to get some prices if, you said there were some boards that need to be removed to see the underside of it?
Well, yeah, the whole deck's on there. I was telling him, there's one right in the middle, and you can tell, like, this board's this high and this board's this high. And it's on the same post, so this has to be broken, because you can stand there and stand on it and go up and down.
Essentially,
So if we would take maybe 3 boards on each side of that post, can we investigate why it's bouncing like that?
Yeah, you probably could definitely get a
Yeah.
better look at it. It sounds to me like,
I want this thing to reopen, put it that way.
yeah, and
So-
to limit your liability, you probably just want to do it. If there's posts that are in the ground that you can reuse, maybe.
Oh, I'm
that's
sure,
something that can be
they all
taken-
seem solid.
Something that can be taken a look at once you start tearing it down, but, yeah, I would contact some contractors and try to get some pricing, some quotes to see.
I got a motion to do that?
and
Do I
with,
need a motion to do that?
Not to just get some prices, I mean, if you guys want to, that's fine, it's not tying us to anything.
yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah, no, it's not right.
Yeah, if you just get some proposals, the main thing will be is that when you get the proposals, and if, say, the material costs would fall in like the different bid thresholds. So anything between 0 and I think the threshold is 11,500. Anything under 11,500, you don't need to do any sort of request for proposal, no bid, etc.
Still recommend it though.
Still recommended, but you can essentially, someone gives you a proposal for $10,000, you could just vote to approve it at a voting meeting. Between 11,500 and about 21,500, that's when you have to send out requests for proposals to, bare minimum, I think it's 3 or.
Or you written or telephone?
I thought it was 20,000.
That's the formal
threshold.
bidding process.
Oh.
20,000, you take it.
Yeah, they like advertise and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what I would do in addition to when you get quotes, obviously, those aren't gonna be something you guys vote on right away, because.
Oh, no.
Even if you get like 3 different ones, you're not gonna pick them, you wanna make sure they're all on the same thing too.
Correct.
You know, we might find something in there, oh, this is different, so they didn't get a chance to, if that's the way you're gonna do it, that's all.
I'll do my best, but I'm not confident on that. We'll do, I'll throw some numbers, or try to get some numbers.
I'll try to get you some numbers.
Yeah,
I have a
I
lot
know
of
enough people, I should be able to get some.
contractors that I
Oh.
do.
Yeah, that's a big asset down there, we don't want.
It is, I don't wanna lose it, I really don't.
And they may
And
all
it has
tell
to be
you-
safe. And
Oh,
it's definitely
absolutely.
not safe.
And they may all give you different ways to do what you're hoping to accomplish, so then you guys can pick and then say, alright, this is what we want.
Well, that'll do, that'll do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know, and then you guys decide that, and then you can put it back out to all of them and
Correct.
give you a real quote.
Okay, that's fine. Just get some rough
Exactly,
numbers right
some
now.
preliminary
so we-
numbers.
yeah, Okay,
Okay.
thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Motion to accept recreation report,
Got it?
motion Danny, second. Second Terry, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Insurance,
I don't have anything for insurance.
okay. Personnel? Public safety. Properties and code enforcement.
Okay, Kelly's been on, he got about 15 this month. Senior center building was fixed in the back. That's a good thing. Ashley, did he talk to you about what you told him? What you wanted him to do with the property? For the pictures and that?
No, he didn't say anymore.
Okay, I'll make sure he does. Thanks, that's it.
Okay. Motion to accept properties and code enforcement.
Make that motion?
Motion by Terry. Second? Dan, all those in favor? Opposed?
Under properties, maybe if we get a contractor to look at that dock down there, maybe we should get him down at the library, you know, take a look at
I
that.
already called for
Oh, did you?
bids. Yeah, you told me to.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, I didn't know
I
you
called
did.
to get 3 bids.
Okay, 'cause that's something we can't do here,
No,
in-house,
we understand.
the foundation crumbling. Okay, I will leave it.
Sanitation.
Yeah, there was several complaints, in the past month, I can go through them all if you want.
Mystery one going.
They all were taken care of?
Yeah, they're all taken care of, yeah, I think, they're getting used to me calling them.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jason.
Getting a little bit more responsive when I call them, so they know if something's wrong with them.
Did the K litter get picked up?
It got picked up this week, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
hoses?
we got, I think that the hoses got picked up too on,
Great.
Yeah, I went over.
But we
and
got
looked too.
more today, we ignored it now,
yeah, so,
out front.
Uh,
Can I ask a question,
And
since that's your
unfortunately-
committee?
yes,
They skipped me.
did they?
I called twice, and I emailed twice, and the mayor called. So, I'm gonna call you now.
If you
or
call
Ashley,
me,
and you
I'll
guys
call
can
them, like I said,
They'll tell you
they're
anything you
tired
wanna
of
hear
hearing
on the
from me.
phone, but they don't give you no results.
Yeah,
Well, I pay my bills, so they should be picking it up, that's how I feel, you know. I'm sure that's probably what most of the people are.
And it was Memorial Day weekend too.
yeah. They don't like to pick up, if it's not all bad, because of their
Right.
COVID thing, they do not like to pick it up, so if you have anything loose, they'll just skip everything.
I think they were maybe using her as an example though.
I
Because
think
I
they
took a
were.
ride around town
I
after our
think
meeting
they
last
were.
week and there was a lot of loose garbage out and it was gone.
Yeah, I was
from
gonna say,
garbage
yeah.
day, So they pick and choose.
Yeah, I think they do pick and choose, I mean, I'll put like a box out there, an Amazon box, and they take it, and according to their policy, they should, they go.
They
Yeah.
said everything.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay. Accept sanitation report, motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion Gary, second. Second by Dan, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Opposed? I'm sorry. Motion carries. Bridge River Trail,
Okay, I just have several things here I wanted to go over. There's no current updates on the project status of the start date or anything with the bridge project. I'm working on some options for the community involvement with selecting the color of the bridge. I'm going to schedule a meeting also on planning committee to discuss potential lighting with the planning committees, because we have to get permission from them for lighting of the walkway for safety reasons for the walkers and bikers. I think that's very important for us to look into, being that our trail is now an asset to this community. So we want to invite the public over from the trail. We need to make it safe for them to come to the town. So that meeting, I'll be scheduling that. I'll post any updates again on the Borough page when they become available. Again, about the committee, there's also, I wanted to start a committee with 1 or 2 council members and some residents, because we do have the semi-quint centennial celebration coming up in 2026 at the same time that the bridge is supposed to be reopening. So I would like to make it a big, huge celebration for the opening of the bridge. Hopefully it can all be coordinated at the same time. You know, I know how that goes with PennDOT. It might be delayed, it might be 2027 until the bridge is open. Hopefully that's not the case. But anyhow, because we do have the time capsule too, that at that time should be opened. It's over the cemetery in West Newton that was put in 1976. So that would be interesting too, to a lot of people in town, I think, to see what was put in the time capsule. Another thing, as far as being that I'm also for the trail and river representative, the Gap Trail had done a study. They do one every so many years, and they did an economic impact report on the trail. It's a great read if anybody goes on that link and looks into the Great Allegheny Passage Economic Impact Report. I do encourage you to read it. We're listed in there several times. We're very fortunate that we do have our community with this trail going right through it. Sorry, I got lost here on what I was doing. I believe that it's important for the council, civic groups, businesses, and organizations to continue to work very hard to ensure that we take advantage of the amount of tourists we have coming into our community, and we should do everything in our power to focus on being a tourist destination. It's detrimental to the growth and future of our community to work together in a positive manner to achieve our goals. With this happening now with the the buildings on Main Street, I think we're going in a great positive direction here, and I think as long as we keep our efforts focused on a joint effort to grow our community, I believe that we can be very successful for our future generations to come, and as now too, so that we can appreciate this even more. We do have a great community and abundance of hardworking volunteers, both past and present, that make our town the place we all call home. And that's all I have to say.
Terry, I have
All
a
your
question.
questions? Yes.
There's rumors, and you know rumors are in this town. I've heard 5 different things of what's gonna happen with the bridge. Can you tell us what is actually gonna happen with that bridge?
Sure. If you do go onto the West Newton Borough website, it's the report from Barry Lyons, who was the project manager at the time. He's now retired, and we do have a new project manager. Everything is listed on there. There will be a new bridge installed, a temporary bridge will be installed. The bridge will be closed. It is designated historic, so there's certain guidelines. It will be rehabbed, it won't be replaced. It's gonna be the same bridge, but it will be rehabbed.
Okay.
They're keeping the metal, the paint, we can select paints, that's why I wanted to start a committee to, involve the town in deciding on the color of the paint. And like I said, I believe that lighting is very important to, for the trails people to come over. I mean, we have all those B&Bs over there, and once we get Main Street in a better position too, with more businesses and more places for people to come to, we want to really encourage them to come over, even if it's at night. So, but yeah, if you look on that website, everything is listed on there, and if you still have questions, just let me know and I can find out answers for you.
Thank you.
Okay? Yes.
2 things. I would like to meet with you whenever you have time. I wanna give you the flood river gauge project that we had designed for that, so that can get incorporated, hopefully with the way the bridge gets redone. And then the other thing is, I wanna volunteer to help with the lighting project.
Sure. That's great.
Just throw my 2 cents, maybe help, if you're
Absolutely.
looking for ideas or whatever, I'll try to help any
Now, he did say, Barry Lyons at the time did say that we are responsible for paying for the lighting, for the purchase of the lighting.
Oh, okay.
Whether it's on the overhang, unless we wanna use the existing that's on there. But if we wanna get new, we have to purchase it ourselves, but there are grants available too for that.
They'll install it.
They'll install it, yeah.
We wanna take advantage of that.
I'd like to see some road lighting on there.
Yeah.
That whole-
Oh,
The
yeah.
walkway,
Yeah.
oh, that
Oh,
would
that'd be nice.
I don't know if they would do that or not. Like I said, I have to go before these planning committees that they depend on, had to get in touch with. Mary was on there, and there's other organizations, ones that deemed it historical. We have to meet with all of them to get their approval, whether we can put this lighting on the walkway side or not. We wanted to try to get another, like, bike trail on there, but that's not possible. That's not in North
That would be
Trail.
If I'm not mistaken, I think we have a little better shot on getting the lighting on the sidewalk because it was added on. So it's not, the sidewalk itself is not considered historical, but because of
The bridges,
weight,
yeah.
that's why we have
Yeah.
to, you know, cause we, remember when your brother had the idea about the placards to show the history, which would be like a placemaker, that would be so wonderful.
Yeah.
But then he said that probably wouldn't work because of the weight, the added weight.
Yeah.
And like he had that big banner design.
But you could do something in
Yeah.
Cimberl Square to
Right,
showcase the
right.
history of the
That would,
bridge.
that would be nice.
So you could do like kinda how a high pow is, where they have all the little
Yeah.
placards you read.
But Barry, I have a little interesting conversation that I have with you about something too.
So just an idea.
The idea I had was to
Yeah.
put the scan bar in the sidewalk as you enter the bridge so you can scan your smartphone and bring up everything we have over here.
Yes,
Like the swimming
pictures
pool,
or-
the pond,
oh, yeah,
businesses.
Anyway.
So I think it's gonna be an
that's
exciting time for us, especially with the semi-quincentennial, I think it's semi, however you say it. I think that's gonna be a great time for our community, and we can get these buildings moving on Main Street and everything too, just imagine what
Yes.
we could have here, so.
Very exciting, could be.
It is exciting, thanks. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Motion to accept Ridge River Trail Report.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Gary, second by Tony. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Ashley, communications.
The delegates for Westmoreland County tax collection, I called on that and actually spoke to the lady that's in charge of it, is with Mount Pleasant Borough or Mount Pleasant Township. But she gave me a little bit more information regarding the delegates, and basically all it is the committee consists of delegates from the school districts, boroughs, and townships within Westmoreland County. And then these delegates will vote on the recommended tax collector for the area. So as of right now, we have Berkheimer, but these delegates from these areas this year could potentially choose someone other than Berkheimer. So that's the whole point for these delegates. And each one that goes, so the more delegates that we would have from the borough, your vote is weighted, and that all depends on how much money we receive as a whole in the borough from Berkheimer. And since we are a lot smaller, ours is weighted a lot smaller than Hemphill or Mount Pleasant. But I would just need, a minimum of at least one delegate. We did have one in the past, and then we have